If you're an artist or producer tracking your vocals at home and you're looking to take your vocals to the next level, this video is just for you. I'm gonna break down how I approach vocal mixing with a hip hop song and a vocal from my friend Dave, and break it down plugin by plugin in order so that you can replicate it at home. And if you're an Ableton Live user, I have this exact vocal rack that I'm gonna show you downloadable in the link in the description. It is a pay what you want model, so it can be free or it can be as much as you would like to give. Any money would be much appreciated, but it is not expected. Thank you very much, and let's get right into it. All right, so let's dive right into Ableton Live. I'm working on Live 11, and everything that I'm working with should work for Live 11 standard or higher or newer. So first of all, we have the beat that we're going to be working with, and this is a beat that I made for my friend Dave. Based off of a Bia song, actually, and then I kind of changed a couple of the patterns around and sounds and the way the 808 works. And this is just something that we were messing around with for him to write to and for me to get some practice in on making this style of a beat. And here's what his vocal track sounds like raw before we get into any processing.
The only fam I know is Marsha, Joe, and Stacy. They keep my head in the box, Kevin Spacey. I love the streams, but I hate it when they play me. So 2023, I see my melodies this way. Now, I don't want to name drop, but my father is the maker of the raindrops.
All right, and then I immediately, just because I can hear his room noise a little bit and I want a little more control, I added this RX voice denoise.
Fam I know is Marsha, Joe, and Stacy. They keep my head in the box, Kevin Spacey. I love the streams, but I hate it when they play me. So 2023, I see my melodies this way, Lena.
And then after that, I brought in my vocal rack that I have custom made for Dave's voice specifically. And I can walk through some of this stuff for you real quick on that. And I'll go ahead and pull in his ad-libs as well. And here's what the mix version of this sounds like.
The only fam I know is Marsha, Joe, and Stacy. That's true. They keep my head in the box, Kevin Spacey. I love the streams, but I hate it when they play me. So 2023, I see my melodies this way. Now, I don't want to name drop, but my father is the maker of the raindrops. So I don't trip when I see a little drip. All it takes is one call, and I'm sure to make your rain stop. I'm trying to be.
So I generally process vocals a similar way every single time, which is I'll generally start with some sort of denoise if it needs it. If it's being tracked in like a bedroom or a house or something, I'll generally at least denoise it a little bit. If it's being tracked like in a really nice studio, sometimes they will either do that before they send it to me, or it's so dead it doesn't really need it anyway. Then I hit it with an EQ first, always. I'm using EQ8 here. If I'm not in Ableton, sometimes I'll use FabFilter Pro Q3 and do a very similar shape. This is kind of the shape that I use for Dave, because his voice range, 119. Sometimes I'll bring it down, to wherever. This is kind of where it worked before. And then around 330 for a little bit of woofiness. And then about 1K, there's nothing happening on that one. That one's just a node that was already there. And then, or in case I need to grab it and move it around up here. And then on top, a little bit of a 4K starting shelf. About a 3 dB is what it says. And that's kind of to counterbalance some of the darkness that this voice noise reducer gives it. So let me take all this off and just show you the difference on the EQ here.
The only fam I know is Marsha, Joe, and Stacy. They keep my head in the box, Kevin Spacey.
All right, and then with the EQ?
The only fam I know is Marsha, Joe, and Stacy. They keep my head in the box, Kevin Spacey.
Doing a little bit more, adding some of that S back in, taking out some of the woofiness from the mic. Then I have an SSL channel here doing really just some compression.
I love the streams, but I hate it when they play me. So 2023, I see my melodies this way, Lena.
A little bit more of a low mid dip right here, but mostly just for the fast compression.
Head in the box, Kevin Spacey. I love the streams, but I hate it when they play me. So 2023,
And then I always do a de-esser after that one because it tends to get a little essy there.
head in the box, Kevin Spacey. I love the streams, but I hate it when they play me. So 2023, I see my melodies just wailing.
Now that I've done the fast attack to kind of catch all the peaks and like bring in his vocal, and then I've de-essed it to kind of tame some of this top end, I will then do another 2A style compression where I'm kind of like smoothing out, so like a general compression. So here's what this sounds like before.
Fam, I know it's Marsha, Joe, and Stacy. They keep my head in the box, Kevin Spacey.
All right, and then with the 2A.
The only fam I know is Marsha, Joe, and Stacy. They keep my head in the box, Kevin Spacey.
And there's a little bit of gain added on that as well to kind of bring it back up. But definitely like squashing it as a whole rather than just catching the peaks, like doing more of like a smoother, soft squash there. Then I do hit it with another little bit of a DS.
The only fam I know is Marsha, Joe, and Stacy.
The 2A tends to bring out a little bit more of a heavy S as well because it's, you know, just very, it's doing a lot of compression.
The only fam I know is Marsha, Joe, and Stacy.
So having that extra tiny little de-esser after it just kind of tames it a little bit. And then these are all just effects. So different effects I have routed to these knobs down here. And this is just the vocal rack I made specifically for Dave because he tends to track the same way every single time. So I figured it'd be easy for me to make this. The only other thing I'm doing EQ-wise is a little bit of soothe.
The only fam I know is Marsha, Joe, and Stacy. They keep my head in the box, Kevin Spacey.
So really is to tame like the 2K.
The only fam I know,
like occasionally like the top end if it gets just a little too harsh.
The only fam I know is Marsha, Joe, and Stacy.
So that's pretty much it every single time. And I'm using the same exact thing on the ad-lib channel here.
The only fam I know is Marsha, Joe, and Stacy. That's true. They keep my head in the box, Kevin Spacey. I love the streams, but I hate it when they play me. So 2020.
The only difference is the effects between the two are what's different. And on the ad-lib track, I didn't use the voice isolation because I wanted it to feel a little more naturally roomy. And there was a little bit of verb in there anyway. So I wanted it to feel like he was in the back of the room just like hyping himself up. So it kind of gives it that effect a little bit.
Fam, I know it's Marsha, Joe, and Stacy. That's true. They keep my head in the box, Kevin Spacey. I love the streams, but I hate it when they play me. So 2023, I see my melodies just wailing. Now I don't want to name drop, but my father is the maker of the raindrops.
So what I have done is I've gone through this entire rack and made a version of it that you can go download right now for free within the link in the description. That's made with all stock Ableton stuff. The delays, the reverbs, multiple different types of delay and reverb, you know, kind of using some multiband to control some S's here and there. And so here's what that sounds like before the Drew rack.
Fam, I know it's Marsha, Joe, and Stacy. They keep my head in the box, Kevin Spacey.
And then here's what it sounds like after the Drew rack.
The only fam I know is Marsha, Joe, and Stacy. They keep my head in the box, Kevin Spacey. I love the streams, but I hate it when they play me. So 2023, I see my melodies just wailing.
Now, it can depend on what kind of vocal you're using, but this should be generally how I work, and everything should be routed roughly to here. And yeah, so it's doing the exact same channel. Also, if you want a tuner, there's Melda Auto Pitch included in the rack. If you don't have that, it's not a big deal. You can also just substitute this with, if you have Ableton 12, the new tuner plugin in Ableton 12. But
the only fam I know is Marsha.
You can just like pick your key. So we just go to C sharp major. If we wanted to give it like a tuned sound, we could do that.
The only fam I know is Marsha, Joe, and Stacy. That's true. They keep my head in the box, Kevin Spacey. I love the streams, but I hate hate it when they play me. So 2023, I see my melodies this way. Now I don't wanna name drop, but my father is the maker of the raindrops. So I don't trip when I see a little drip. All it takes is one call and I'm sure to make your rain stop. I'm trying to be a better man since my daughter came true. Teach her how to build a building all without the rust. Make sure that she know mom and daddy always lean on God. And try to be the type of man that a God could trust. But I'm an addict for distraction, don't let the passion.
Yeah, so if you're doing a singy thing, it would work. It doesn't really work in this context because he's not super singing for real. He's more rapping. You can also go through and automate things. This is a reason I really like using the racks. You could, if you wanted to do the last word rabbits,
Silly rabbits.
do a delay throw on that. You could just grab this and then
Cindy silly rabbits. Dummies in his mouth.
have it do a delay throw.
Cindy silly rabbits. Dummies in his mouth. Cindy silly rabbits. Dummies in his mouth.
Or you could do a verb throw if you wanted to do that. Let's erase that. You could do on this hall. You know, you could do like a lift.
Platinum status and chasing these silly rabbits. Dummies in his mouth.
And have it sound, you know, super verbed out near the end of the line or something like that.
Shelfing my platinum status and chasing these silly rabbits. Dummies in his mouth.
Bunch of options there. But yeah, if you want this Drew's vocal rack, you can get it in the link in the description for free on Gumroad. I made it, give it away. You do need Ableton 11 standard or higher. Or if you don't have Ableton or you don't care and you just want to make it yourself, you can literally just use this video to create your own version of this. And this is generally how I approach at least the start of most vocal mixes for this kind of genre. And for a lot of stuff, honestly, it tends to get a similar treatment as far as the order of things that I use. I might use them more heavy-handed or lighter in one situation or another. But in general, I am starting and ending it with this vocal chain. So yeah, if you want to grab that, feel free to grab that. If you want to see more about this or a different way of approaching vocals or more information, if there's something I didn't explain clearly or something that you don't understand or you need me to explain differently, drop it in the comments. Would love to hear from you guys and make sure that this is something that's actually going to help you, because I want to help you guys make records. That's the whole point. I want to make sure that you guys are able to sit down yourself and write some killer songs and track it and have them sound really dope even before you may send it to somebody like me to mix it. Speaking of which, if you would like me to work on your next song, whether it's production or mixing, feel free to hit the link in the description and go to musicbydrew.com. There's a form there that you can fill out. Let me know you came from this YouTube video. I'd love to hear from you there. We can look at some of your songs, see if we make a good fit for each other, and I'd love to help you release your next great song. So feel free to do that. If not, there's going to be a video right over here that is going to teach you a little bit more about maybe prepping your song in Ableton or getting your song across the finish line. We'll see you over there.